KDB. KDB.
Beats Planet.
And we are Israel Addison is the GOAT.
Man. My man hit him with the Brandon Cooks.
I had chills.
I know you
I
did.
had chills, boy. I just wanted to put my gloves on right then. Like, boy, I want to do some of that, man. Shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to my UFC fans, man. Everything's back in order.
What a comeback.
You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all for being here. You watched the fight, was it?
Watch the highlights of that fight.
You watched the last little bit. You watched, okay, I got you. I got you. Hey, man, let me tell you something, man. People ask me all the time because they know I'm a Cowboy fan, right? But they ask me, I'm going to put this on. They ask me, well, Voch, who's your basketball team? You know, do you have a college team? And here's my rhetoric on that, Will Steele. If you don't impact me emotionally, I can't call you my team, right? Example, Dallas Cowboys lose, I don't answer the phone. I don't answer emails, and I think about calling in Monday. You know what I'm saying? Volume can't find me if Cowboys lose. Cowboys lose. Look, Cowboys win. The post-game show be 2 hours, Will Steele. We be up till 3 a.m. Cowboy lose.
30 minutes.
All right, y'all. We're gonna take 2 calls. We're gonna get I get done before you do, you hear me? So I feel like it has to affect you emotionally. I'm good. What the heck? Okay, hold up. The damn show did. Hold up. Roadcaster.
There we go.
We good?
Yep.
All right, cool. So I think it has to affect you emotionally, right? Nothing affects me emotionally. You know what I mean? The Mavericks been losing games and shit. I go for them because it's Dallas and that's kind of like the area thing. But I don't give a fuck about the Mavericks losing and shit. You know what I mean? I don't care about a college football, college basketball team like that, right? I do have favorite fighters though, Will Steele. I do have favorite fighters. And I follow Israel Adesanya on social medias. I follow his YouTube leading up to the fight, and I take it personally. Like, man, I hope Izzy knocked this motherfucker. You know what I mean? I watch his YouTube video showing different strikes, and I go to dojo. Like, man, I want my jab to go sideways like Izzy do. I want the long sideways jab like Izzy do. So when he fighting, my nerves be through the roof, Will. Still, like I be like
you watching the Cowboys.
Like I'm watching the Cowboys. So when he knocked Buddy out, when he knocked Buddy out, you get excited over wrestling like this. When he knocked out Pajeda and he got up, he started doing the arrow. Nigga, I got out the bed like at midnight, nigga, just making noise. Negan, my bad. Just dog, like I you know what I mean? Like it pumped me up like that. And I went in the dojo and I worked on that same exact counter, boy. We was working the bad. I was like, oh, I'm getting beat up on the fence. Quick jab right over the top. Oh boy, I'm just a child with my imagination. Chat, did y'all watch the fight? Man? It was so amazing. Everybody pretty much in agreement, man. All right, cool. Appreciate it. I just wanted to get that out real fast. We ain't doing nothing else. I'm your host, Voch Lombardi. You don't even know who I am. If this your first episode, you thought you was about to tune into some draft, I ain't say my name and I just started talking about just UFC, you wouldn't know what the hell was going on. Voch Lombardi, by the way.
Now you done muted yourself.
Hold on, check. We good?
Nah, you back to camera mic. I'm not sure what's going on with
what's going on today, Will Steele?
You're broadcasting, man.
Microphone, Check. Damn. Hold on.
Hey, what's good, fam?
Cut that off. Cut that shit. I didn't even know that song went that long. I didn't even.
No, I had to restart it, man. Somebody was in the chat. I give somebody in the chat talking shit.
Will say you would not believe what the problem was. There was this cord in the back of the roadcaster to go from the roadcaster to the PC or whatever.
Angling.
I haven't touched that cord since I plugged this roadcaster in, Will Steele. But today, for some reason, that shit wanted to be loose. You know what I mean? And I couldn't find the roadcaster anyway, and I just had to hit a whole reset for no reason.
There we
go. This is all good, man. We're gonna give y'all a show. We are still clocking out at 3:45 today. So, hey, this on y'all.
Somebody in the chat said, "Nah, Vacho was 30 extra minutes, fam."
Shit, I'm your host. AKA Ferrari. VOCHLOMBARDI. Point guard about the best in the business.
That's enough damn salt there, Willie.
No more Big Willie. My game is grown before you call
What's happening? What's happening?
Master William, what's good, man? Did y'all hear about the fight? Did y'all not hear me talk about the fight last Saturday? Do I have to talk about that again? Nah,
You good.
I know y'all heard that. All right, well, still let's hurry up. We only got 15 minutes. All right. This is what I want to talk about today. I told y'all for a couple of weeks in a row, and I just got to reset all these little buttons, Will Still, but it's all good. We'll do it on the fly. I talked to y'all a couple of weeks ago, and we discussed the Cowboys 30 visits and the trends that come from them. Okay. So we finally got a chance to look at the 30 visits. Well, we got 29 now, so there's one mystery visit that's just hanging around that we just don't know what it is, but I'm assuming that it's probably going to be like an undrafted dude, but I don't know. Then I can't say that because the last two dudes have been Darnell Washington and Drew Sanders. So we really don't know who that undrafted dude is going to be. I'm just working while I'm talking, right? So I do think that we have enough evidence to kind of talk about trends, to kind of talk about where I think the Cowboys are going to go direction-wise, right? And I was just looking at the list, right, chat? I'm looking at the list, and I noticed that the list kind of breaks down into two different directions, okay? And I just want y'all to bear with me. Will Steele, any minute you may disagree or have a retort, feel free to stop me. We ain't doing nothing else. I think that this situation, this Cowboy 30-day visit, right? This 30-day visit list, I think it's broken down in two directions. It's broken down in the one dude of this group that we do like, but we're not necessarily going in that direction. And then we have the group of dudes to where it's clear we're going that direction. And if we don't get a guy if we don't get this guy in particular, we got to get another guy because this is what we're looking for. I think it's 4 positions that the Cowboys are really focusing on, right? I'll tell you why in a second. I think they're focusing on wide receiver, not just one wide receiver. They're focused on corner, not just one corner. And I think they're really focused on linebacker. We ain't really talk too much about, linebacker. We talk about it in passing, but we don't really talk about names at linebacker that we should be looking for, or at least I have done a great job of it because linebackers bore me. It just kind of is what it is, right? So as I'm just looking at the 30 visit list, right? Let's just talk about the players that's not attached to like some big need group, right? I see Will Anderson on the list, Will Steele. But I don't see a whole bunch of edges on the list. So in my mind, the Cowboys are going, just in my mind. And look, this could all be bullshit. I'm just looking at it. I'm just making content for y'all.
You mean
today,
Will
right?
McDonald?
What'd I say?
Will Anderson.
You know who I meant, McDonald.
I'm like, hold the hell up.
Anderson gonna be long gone. Anderson gonna be Willie Mack from Iowa State, per Voch Lombardi, by the way. Will McDonald's on that list, but it's not a whole bunch of edges on that list, Will Steele.
Yeah.
So in my mind, that goes, we like Will McDonald. But if we don't get Will McDonald, it's not like we gotta get Keon White. You see what I'm saying? It ain't like we gotta get Ojulari. It's not like we got to do this. I just think we really like Will McDonald. I'll pause here to say this. It is very possible that we draft somebody that's not on this list.
Yep.
Bijan ain't on this list. But if he there at 26, we got a boogie. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Tyler wasn't on the 30 visit last year. He was drafted.
Facts. There you go, right? But I do think that Will McDonald is a guy that they like and that they put in a hat and they go, hey, we may not be looking for edge guys early. And I do think early is important because there are some names on this list, Will, still, where you just look at them and go, boy, you just destined to be a swing dude. Boy, you just destined to play punt, you know what I'm saying, punt team, punt return. You know what I mean? Some guys you're not really looking for to be like one of those guys on this team, right? But I'm looking at guys that are looking to be impact guys that are around 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. That's what I'm looking for. So like I just said, Will McDonald, right? But we don't see a whole bunch of edges on this list. The opposite of that, though, Will, still, it ain't like we see Quentin Johnston and nobody else. We see Quentin Johnston, guys like Rashee Rice, Zay Flowers, Jalen Hyatt, Jonathan Mingo. So in my mind, Will, still,
Josh Downs.
If the Cowboys don't get Quentin Johnston in their mind, on their board, they got to get somebody else.
By the way, Jackson Smith-Njigba is added to the list.
You say what?
Yep.
What you said?
Jackson Smith-Njigba is a 30-day visit.
When that happened? When they say that? When that came out?
Today. So it is by far the most wide receivers on the list. I believe 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 wide receivers.
Master William, do you think the Cowboys double down at wide receiver?
Double dip?
Yeah.
In the draft?
Yeah. They're looking at 7 guys.
No,
they're looking at 2 guards. You know what I mean? But they're looking at 7 wide receivers. Do you think it's possible?
I don't think they're looking at 7 to double dip. I think they're looking at 7 to take one though.
Yeah.
Top 3 rounds. Do not be surprised if a wide receiver is a selection. Because if you look at the names, you're talking day 1 names. Obviously, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Yes. Potentially the other big ones, but you know the Quentin Johnsons, the Hyatts, the Flowers, they can all go in the second round too. But they're looking at guys that they can get maybe day 2 in the second or third round, or day 3.
I was just about to say I'll match you on that. I think the Cowboys are covering their bases for 4 whole rounds, Will, still. Yeah. Just based on the names that's up there. Like Downs and Mingo on that list also. You know what I mean?
Xavier Gibson.
I think they are preparing themselves for the idea that, man, if an MF is there in the first round, and boy, something might happen where we got to get a linebacker right here because all those linebackers are looking like second round type guys. They may love a corner in the third round. They're covering their ass in a way that, hey, we got a wide receiver we like in the first 4 rounds. You see what I'm saying? And that just shows urgency to me. Like regardless of the free agent moves, whether trade or whatever, you know, Brandon Cooks, regardless of Gallup coming back, regardless of this second year idea of Jalen Tolbert, the Cowboys are going to draft their wide receiver in my mind because they wouldn't put 7, 8, 30 visits on it if it wasn't the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they've got more receivers on this list this year, Voch, than they did last year. And the Cowboys were in the hunt for a receiver last year, big time, right? Because they got rid of Amari Cooper and they didn't have Gallup coming back. So this is very interesting. Yeah. And I think depending on who they take, it could be an indictment on Gallup and Tolbert. Let's just be real.
Cooks, Lamb is contract guy. New guy is gonna be 5-4 year, draft type. I'm investing something in you, guy. You know what I mean? Like Tolbert may not be good, but we have something invested in Tolbert. So I don't see Tolbert being a guy that leaves. So if you're a guy like Sammy, man, you need to what you say, nuclear Will still? You need one of them off seasons, bro.
Oh, he gonna have to I thought he had a fantastic camp. We were talking about him seem like every day. He's gonna have to be 2 times better than that.
And if you Jalen Tolbert, boy, that's just if you Jalen Tolbert. I mean, if you what's my man's name?
Turpin?
If you Turpin, boy, you knew who I was talking about. You knew I wasn't talking about. Look, Tolbert not gonna keep lining up off sides. You know what I mean?
No, and he get 3rd round pick. They not getting rid of him. He could be here.
Well, boy, Kevontae Turpin, boy, they ain't paying him number what 30. Well, like what, $42?
He got a 5-year, $38 deal.
Boy, none of that shit guaranteed. Steven Jones gonna reach in his pocket and write a check and get that motherfucker out of here, boy. That dead money gonna be here until 2030. $30. Well, look. But anyway, though, Will, still, I think that's fair. I think some of these positions you can look at, some of these players you can look at, and you can get a really good idea of where they're thinking about taking some of these guys at, like the D linemen that are here. right? Jacqueline Roy is not going to be a guy that you take in the first 2 rounds, right? So in my mind, they're just going to draft D tackle where they always draft D tackle. Does that take Mozzie off the list? I don't think so, but I do think it takes guys like Keanu Benton off the list, D tackle from Wisconsin. If you're looking at him, I don't think he's going to be a guy that the Cowboys are going to be looking for, because I think it's clear that they're looking for D tackle type guys later, because that's what they're looking for.
Gotcha.
Right? And it's not necessarily the player. I think it's the type of player that they're looking for. Like a dude that's not on this list right now is like Jordan Addison. But we know that they're looking for a receiver. You know what I mean? So if Jordan Addison is there and it's at a value that you just can't ignore, then it is what it is. Will Steele, I actually sent you a tweet from Jim Nagy. I sent you a tweet from Jim Nagy. You ain't got to pull it up, but I'll go read it to the people. But if you want to pull it up, it's fine. Jim Nagy says, at the volume, Jim Nagy's talking to me and Will Steele.
I literally thought that in my head. I'm like, wow, that sounds like.
At the volume, one thing has become clear on calls around the league the past couple of weeks. NFL isn't nearly as high on this year's wide receivers class as the media is. Dun, dun, whoosh. Frequently seeing 4 to 5 wide receivers in mocks. Having spoken to numerous teams that have only 1 first-round grade at this position. That guy is Jackson Smith and Jigba. Dun, dun. So, Will, I'm reading this tweet, dog. The Cowboys are doing these 30 visits, Will Steele, but I just want people to just be clear, too, because I see a lot of this on social media. Just because they're a 30 visit doesn't mean that this is intention of being a first-round pick for them. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. Yeah.
And I look at Jim Nagy's tweet, Will Steele. I'm thinking, do you think the Cowboys are preparing themselves? Because, look, I think we are a couple of days, maybe a week away from Brian Broaddus leaning real close to the microphone and going, hey, man, it's probably going to be the guard from TCU. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just go ahead.
But that's an obvious one, though.
I think we're a week away from that. So in my mind, Will Steele, I'm just looking at this list, right? Are the Cowboys preparing themselves for the idea? Unless the draft gives us an offer that we just can't refuse. Jalen Carter get into a high-speed chase with cocaine in his trunk, and Jalen Carter's on the board at 26 for us, right? Unless something like that happens. If Avila is the pick, right? The Cowboys are setting themselves up to where, hey, if Johnston, Flowers, Hyatt, if you want to, if those guys are on the board for you at 58, not 26, but 58, we've prepared ourselves to draft those dudes if they fall to us, Will Steele. You know what I'm saying? I think as a parent, I don't think this is a situation where, all right, guys, for 26 overall, we're debating Avila versus TCU in this thing. I don't think that's the case, because even Jim Nagy, because look, we've seen all these guys tumble down the board. Then that Jim Nagy tweet really had me thinking about it. What if teams really aren't looking to draft these guys in the first round? What if there is a weird run on offensive linemen, edges, D tackles, corners, or something like that, and one of the wide receivers that we looked at as one of the best wide receivers in this draft, they just fall to us at 58, Will Steele? They have to prepare themselves just in case that is a situation that happens. Now, if Johnston gets drafted in the 40s, cool. We looked at Flowers. Flowers get drafted. Cool. We looked at Hyatt. Hyatt get drafted. Cool. We're going to wait till the next round, and we'll talk about Downs and what's his name. There's urgency in the wide receiver position. But, Will, I haven't seen a whole bunch of tight ends on this list that's talked about as top 3 round guys. Right? Now, if the Cowboys would have brought in Darnell Washington, Dalton Kincaid, Musgrove, Laporta, Michael Mayer, the logical thing that go on in our mind, Will Steele, is, hey, man, maybe they're going to be looking at tight end early. They got one other little tight end dude that's probably going to go day 3, which makes sense for Cowboys, right? And then they got the one name Darnell Washington up there, Will Steele. What you think about that? What you think about the idea of Darnell Washington as a 30 visit, and what round do you think the Cowboys are looking at to possibly target him? Because he on the 30 list, it has to be interest. So what round do you think, not what Cowboy fans think, do you think they're going to be targeting Darnell Washington?
Second. I feel like if Darnell's draft 58, they'll pull the trigger. Or, and like a lot of these players, look, Jim Nagy said the NFL views, one receiver as a first round grade. Problem is, anybody drafting after like 16, 17, 18 is drafting guys with second round grades 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
So there may still be more than one wide receiver drafted in the first round. But like a lot of these players, though, I think they're just trying to cover their bases. Same thing with Darnell Washington. If he's there at 58, I think they'll take him. But I think the match that's made in heaven right now is Avila. It just feels like Avila is going to be the pick for them if he's there. But if he's not, right, say somebody else jumps, then I think you start having conversations about those other top prospects that you just named and rattled off. A lot of those receivers, maybe the tight end, the Will McDonalds of the world. And I think they're just trying to cover their bases.
Is Antonio Mafi on this list just in case they can't get Steve Avila?
Sure. I mean, absolutely. I'd imagine that Mafi is rated lower than Steve Avila.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't know that he's a day 2 pick for him, but he might. Maybe they say 3rd round, let's just go ahead and pull the trigger because we didn't get Avila. I mean, clearly there's interest. So if they don't get into Avila, then they don't have a lot of, in my opinion, top 50 to 70 interior O-line prospects. Did you peep that in the 30 visit list?
Yeah, I saw
a bunch of them.
Yeah. There wasn't a bunch of guards on their list, but Will Steele, I have discovered just me doing some of the cleanup film in the patreon.com/Voch Lombardi, where we watch the film, the whole film. And you can see me like live react to those films. I found another interior dude that I like. And we'll talk about this after this. But Juice Scruggs from Penn State, he's a good player.
He's a good center.
The center/guard.
Yeah.
Look, I watched the game, right? I watched the game with him. I had to find out what his number was, 70. He was playing right guard because I thought he played center. I'm like, oh, this dude a right guard. He ain't a center. And in that same game, like in the second quarter, his ass went from right guard to center. And I was like, oh, you that flex. Oh, you that Fournier competition.
They like
right? Flex. They love flex. And I think people that say that this isn't a good interior class, I just don't think that they've watched enough film to properly say that, right? And there are some guys that'll grade a whole draft based on the top 15. That's goofy as hell. But I found a lot of interior dudes that I like, Will Steele. So if we don't get Avila, but you end up with Mafi, Zavala, Scruggs, Voorhees ain't gonna play for you this year, but it's guys in this draft.
Oh yeah, look. I mean, is this the Kenyon, Zion, Tyler Smith types where those dudes can plug in first round? All 3 of those dudes drafted in first round? No, I don't think it's that type of draft. But I could be wrong here. I just think that guard is less difficult to transition to. So if I get guys that have traits and I can plug them in between a Tyler and Tyler, I don't need the first round talent necessarily. So I can get a quality dude in round 3, 4, or 5 and say, hey, as you're developing, I just need you to do this right now. And I see that in a lot of these dudes. So it may not be, like I said, as deep or as top heavy as last year, but I think there's some guys, man, some guys alike.
Yeah. Alex says that Voch is avoiding the idea of O'Cyrus Torrence being a Cowboy because he's a 30. I haven't seen O'Cyrus Torrence as a 30 visit for the Cowboys. So
I don't see that name.
Yeah. Now, Alex, what you probably saw is O'Cyrus Torrence was a combine visit. You know what I mean? The Cowboys talk to everybody at the combine. They talk to Justin Fields, not Justin Fields. What's his face from Ohio? They talk to everybody at the combine, but the 30 visit is different. So I haven't seen O'Cyrus Torrence as a 30 visit guy, but I don't know, whatever. Just moving on from there. I do think the idea of Darnell though, Will Steele, and we had this conversation. There's not a player that can upgrade your damn run game like Darnell Washington. You know what I'm saying? Putting him next to Tyler, then putting Tyler next to whoever the hell you gonna put at left guard. If Mike McCarthy really want to run the football, oh good, that makes sense to me. Plus,
he's our tight end. If all this tight end round 1 talk, it's him for me because I just think he brings something different to the table, right? Like I've often talked about complimenting. That's been like the buzzword for me over the last year. Like, does this player complement the room? Because we saw what we had in wide receiver. The running back room. Do we get a guy that complements the room? Darnell Washington I feel like he puts a cherry on top of the tight end room if you were to take him wherever. I'm still not take tight end round 1, but if we're going to take one of those dudes, I'd rather it be Darnell because he comes in right now and he's a part of the 12 personnel package. Imagine that dude pulling and getting out on the move. That's a tackle, right? And then he gives you a ridiculous catch radius. He brings athleticism to the room that you don't really have. And yeah, he might not be a great route runner, but he's a tank out there. So I don't need you to, get shifty with dudes and just need you to present yourself and just throw it in my vicinity and he'll come down with it. So yeah, he brings something entirely different to this room. So he's my guy if they're going to take a tight end early. I like a lot of dudes after that, but early he'd be my guy.
So you may not be fine with tight end at first round, like the idea of the value of it, but you ending up with Darnell Washington as your first round pick, you won't hate it because you love the player.
I won't hate. I understand what they're trying to do with it. I think you're fine with the guys you have, and you can add another dude later. But I think I see their vision with a guy like Darnell Washington. Another dude got a back problem, and Mayer he's a good tight end. He'll be good for somebody, but it doesn't really. He didn't pop for me, but I think Washington has a ceiling that could be crazy. And I know he has to develop as a pass catcher. I get that. But I went back and watched how they used Ferguson when he started. You don't need your dudes to do a whole lot of blocking. Yeah. And I think Darnell can get down and dirty with it.
What old boy called him on your show today? A tight tackle?
A tight tackle.
That's crazy. I'm stealing the shit out of that.
Hell yeah.
Tight tackle. I love it. Let's see. Also, too, I was looking at the 30 visits for running back, right? Besides Bijan, and Bijan, that's just a different situation. Like, what I mean? Bijan gonna have to get to a high-speed chase with cocaine. I don't think he'll be there. But besides him, do you think the Cowboys are on a rush to get running back early? Because the names that are on the list are Kendre Miller and Zach Evans. And those are dudes that look like they'll probably be day 3 options for you, 4th, possibly 5th if you're lucky enough. So if it's not Bijan, right? You don't see the Cowboys looking at Gibbs, A-Chain, Bigsby, those guys, right?
I mean, Gibbs possibly shit, but
Gibbs at 58. I mean, you're gonna run that card in, but
the rest of them, I don't really. I don't think so. That's why you see him bringing in Miller. You see him bringing in Evans, guys you can get late day 2, early day 3, and rock out. It don't feel like that. Now, Bijan's the only one.
Yeah. Just looking at the list, I don't see urgency from the running back position. Like I said, if I had to make a guess on what the first 4 picks are going to be, right? No order. I'm going to put question mark, right? Because that could be that BPA thing. That could be special guy fell in our lap thing. That could be Will McDonald, Darnell Wright, that type of guy, right? So that's 1 pick, question mark. 2nd pick, wide receiver, corner, and linebacker. That's what I think Will Steele. And that question mark could also be guard if guard is there and he's the best player for you, right? Guard is tricky though, Will Steele, because it just doesn't look like we show a lot of interest in guard. And Cowboys, if they like somebody, they'll just take somebody off the board. You know what I mean? Like Steve Avila may be a first round guy for them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But if the Cowboys don't get Steve Avila, let's say that he ends up going 20th to whoever the hell at 20. Do they look at any other guards, Will Steele? Or do they or just are they all in on Avila and Mafi? Are they considering John Michael? Are they considering?
I think we got to be careful just because you only get 30 of these.
Of course.
And last year the Cowboys had 5 guys, Voch, that they signed or drafted from the 30 visit list. And a lot of them were day 3 or undrafted free agent dudes. So and they love these visits because you get the chance to learn about some of the guys that you're really not going to take early. And who they take in round 1? Tyler Smith. So they could potentially still be interested in those guys.
My only concern, though, Will Steele, is if guard is such an emergency, and it is. Guard is the only thing that we ain't really touched for real. Why don't they have 7 guards on this list? That's what's bad. It's 7 receivers on here. It's 5 corners. It's probably more than 7 receivers. It's 3-4 corners. You know what I'm saying? Like it's linebackers on here.
Well, why would you need to put 7 guards?
To do your due diligence because you taking guard. In my mind, they know they're taking receivers.
They're doing so. We got just because again I keep saying just because they're not on a 30 visit list does not mean they're not doing due diligence. The 30 visit list for them is more conversation, getting to know the player, things like that. And sometimes it's guys like Mafi. Mafi, they didn't get a chance to talk to him at the combine.
Right.
So now I bring in Mafi to get a chance to talk to him. They might have talked to some people at the combine. They might have enough information on XYZ from who their scouts or their guys down at the schools or whatnot. And that could just be that. So I don't know that I would go so far left that, man, they only got 3 offensive linemen on here. They're not really looking at offensive line. Because again, Tyler Smith, guard was a blinking red light last year. He was not brought in. He was the draft pick. Also could be window dressing too. 30 visit list.
Mark Aaron burner account says you don't want to show your hand to the league. And look, I thought that for a second, but I wouldn't think that you'll waste that many 30 visits for a bluff. I'm talking about the wide receiver position. Like it's like in my mind, if there's an urgency, I can see it on your list. And it just in my mind, I wouldn't waste 30 visits on a bluff or on
that's a bit far. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I don't think they're wasting anything. I think there's a genuine interest, right? But there could be something to, hey, let's not bring in Tyler Smith. We got enough. We were down in Tulsa. We talked to the coach. We got the tape. We're good on Tyler Smith. But just in case Jordan Davis falls to us, let's bring in Jordan Davis. And I'm just using names from last year. So I don't think they're wasting this. If it's one team that don't waste 30 visits, it's this team.
I do agree in that way though, because I don't need a 30 visits for Bijan Robinson. Like I don't need nothing else. Like I know what he brings. You ain't got to put him on. I know what he brings. He better not call the 26. You know what I mean? Yeah. That makes sense to me. I don't know. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the linebackers. I don't think I've talked much about linebackers, mostly because I hate linebackers, and I just think that they kind of boring to watch. But Drew Sanders was added to the list. Overshown is on that list. Simpson is on that list.
Yep.
And
I think that's actually interesting.
Trent Simpson,
all of them,
all those guys, yeah.
On
and list. I think they're showing interest in linebackers, so maybe there's some urgency at linebacker. I think linebacker is going to be one of your first 4 picks. You know what I mean? And boy, if you just asked me, like prior to me thinking about all this though, Will, still like who was gonna prioritize? Like what was the Cowboys gonna prioritize? Just at linebacker or whatever. I would think that they'll take linebacker where they take Harper at, where they take Cox at, where they take Clark at. Like they just took those dudes in day 3. Michael was a first round pick. You know what I mean? That's different, but it just wouldn't strike me that linebacker was something that they was gonna look at early. But based on the names on the list, right? Sanders, Simpson, and Overshown, those look like dudes where, hey, if we don't get Sanders early, we taking Simpson next. If we don't get them, we looking at Overshown in the 3rd or the 4th or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's something that we need to look out for. I think linebacker is 100% a possibility. And this morning I had just follow me. Could Drew Sanders be a sneaky option in the way that LVE was in 2018? If you remember, Sean Lee, hurt guy, veteran guy, they knew he wasn't going to be here forever. And they had the young guy, Jalen Smith, ended up taking LVE. This year, LVE is kind of the hurt guy, veteran guy. He's not really the long-term option. They had a young guy, Damone Clark. LVE was a guy that they liked coming in. Looks like Drew Sanders is a guy they like. Dan Quinn loves versatility. Drew gives you versatility. Could be a sneaky little option that we're not really seeing because we're like, we're set at linebacker. I still believe linebacker is a position of need. It just may not be a position of need from a starter standpoint. Yeah. But I think you still need to get a backer in this draft. Something I like about Drew Sanders that these other two don't offer you is that Dan Quinn can get on the table and be like, hey, we drafted a linebacker. But he pass rusher too. You know what I'm saying? But we got a pass rusher too. Add that motherfucker. Which is why at 26, it makes more of a sense. It's sneaky. It's very, very sneaky. Yeah. If Trent Simpson got 9 sacks last year, well, he might be moved up a little higher. Another guy that he rushed, he get after the passer too. Now he's not putting his hand in the dirt, but he's blitzing. Yeah. No. Yeah. I think he's a pass rusher like, and look, he's not Isaiah Simmons, but Isaiah Simmons used to kind of get pressure like that. But when I look at Drew looked like a natural pass. Drew was a pass rusher. Yeah, he was. That's the thing. Yeah. He just ended up being a linebacker. So in my mind, because look, man, like even the whole Micah Parsons conversation, people was only shitting on Micah. I said weird then people. I was too. Was only kind of shitting at the idea of Micah because, hey man, you off the ball linebacker. You faster than everybody else. I got to hit you, Uncle Phil. We. But if Michael would have got 16 sacks in college, it's been a different conversation. Like, hey man, he got the sack production, then it'll make sense to me. I see the film on Drew Sanders, being linebacker, a 2-year linebacker, a 2-year developing linebacker, that's still getting better. They can get you 9 sacks. Hey man, interesting conversation, bro. Interesting conversation. It's 4:00. We was about to end the stream, really, but I guess we can go to the phones a little bit, see what y'all talking about. You know what I mean? We've been streaming for an hour here, Will. Still shit. But we could tap in with y'all, see what y'all are saying.
The conference has been locked.
Go ahead, lock the phones, because Will, I still want to get to my hobbies that I talked to you about pre-show. I want to get to them, so we finna be all day here.
All right, let's hit them.
Yeah, we talking over for the algorithm there. I mean, no copywriters. Appreciate you. Let's get D James on the phone. What's up, D James?
Man, yo, Skywalker Steele, what's the deal, fellas?
What's good? What you got for the show?
Oh man, well shoot, y'all was kind of hitting around there that I really.
The conference has been unlocked.
And he's somebody I kind of been watching over the last little week, man. And
Simpson, right? Clemson.
How much of a Simpson, from Clemson, the linebacker.
Gotcha.
I'm wondering how much of a real option he is for us at 26, because he looked like somebody who Dan Quinn could use. You know what I'm saying? He can blitz off the edge. He plays middle linebacker. His freshman and sophomore year at Clemson, he was on the outside. Then they asked him to put on some weight. He can fight through the trash. He's a solid player in the middle of the defense, man. He's somebody who I think should be probably a real target for the Cowboys, man.
I don't think he'll be a middle linebacker.
Yeah. He'll be a what we thought Brillo was gonna be. You know what I mean? Like a sometime safety, sometime linebacker dude. Like that's what I look at Simpson and kind of see him doing. But I don't see him as a 26 guy. Like if he's a 26, I mean, go ahead.
So that leads me to that was actually going to be my initial question, but I was talking about Simpson, so I kind of wanted to keep that conversation going.
Please.
But I've been looking at a lot of these mocks.
Okay.
Who would have to be off the board for us at 26 for us to move down? Because I done started seeing some scenarios where, man, a lot of these names we've been hearing over the last little couple of weeks, shoot, at 26, there is some scenarios where them guys might could be gone and we could be wiped out.
I think it's impossible for us to get wiped out.
Impossible, one. And it's not about who's there to move down; it's who's there for the team to move up.
Yep.
Okay.
Like if the Cowboys were to trade up, boy, it got to be Jalen Carter. It got to be like Christian Gonzalez. Then.
Oh no, I meant who's there at 26 for another team to move up.
For some other team,
because you're saying
okay.
Cowboys move down. We always think, just move down. Well, it takes 2 to tango. So who's there for another team to jump to 26 and not say, I'll just sit here and wait. There's so many.
One of them guards that we like to be gone.
It got to be Hendon Hooker or something for somebody to trade up to us. But like for us to trade back, let me tell you something. If Steve Avila's gone, like there's a wide receiver we like.
You get wiped out at 26.
You can't get because look, watch this though. I can tell you miss shows, right? Because what we actually did last week was I removed quarterbacks. I removed tight ends, four or 5 tight ends. And I still came up with 26 guys that I would take and feel really good about at 26. So it's impossible for us to get wiped out.
I can't see the Cowboys taking none of them wide receivers at 26, man. Them dudes is small.
Take the receivers out there.
Outside of Johnson, them dudes are small. I can't see them taking nobody at 26. Not no wide receiver.
Okay, so what about corners? What about guard and tackles? What about the center? What about linebacker?
Okay.
What about edge?
So okay, and that's what I'm saying. Would any of them guys be somebody who they would stand in there and take at 26?
Yes.
Will McDonald.
Will McDonald.
Any number one of these guys.
Will McDonald.
Forbes. I think Sanders an option.
Forbes, Sanders, Will McDonald, all on the list. Let me unball this paper. I just balled up for no reason.
So and we're saying that basically both Torrance. I know you don't like Torrance, but I think they have interest. Torrance and Avila is off the board, is what he's basically saying, right? That means all the tackles. So think about that. All those tackles
Somebody got to be there. Bijan.
And the guard. So it's the
Bijan.
what? Was it
Bijan.
5 or 6 tackles plus
Yep.
the guard? That's 8. That's 8 players right there.
Joey Porter.
Plus the 4 quarterbacks. That's 12.
I hear you.
Plus the corners. That's like 17.
Too long.
Mozzie there.
Could they slide back a couple spots and still pick up any one of them guys?
Sure,
but,
They could.
sure,
They
but so who's trading up?
And that's where we have to go back and just keep studying it and look at it and see.
Because if the way you explaining it,
Like
why
you say,
would if I'm another team, why don't I just sit there, Voch? Why don't I just wait?
That's what you're saying. Why would I give you picks? Because look, if a team's 6 spots behind us and there's 9 dudes on the board I like, oh well, shit, 3 of them gonna be there. I'll wait. You might as well pick the dude you want. Stay packed. Pick the dude you want. Keep your 5th year option, which is very important to them, and just
Right.
get the best dude.
Yeah.
Cause look, the way you talking, you sound like the Miami Dolphins who ain't got a 1st round pick, right? And 70 people went in front of us, and we go, all right, who we gonna pick? Like, nah, it's gonna be somebody there.
Yeah. And I don't know that Steven is savvy enough.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Flip it because the way you explain it's like, well, look, man, if y'all want to jump from a position, why would I want to jump up?
There you go. And look, so that's my whole point. I don't think teams trade down. I think other teams trade up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna call you and be like, hey, give me picks.
I don't like this spot, but give me picks.
So you can get this spot that I don't like that ain't nobody in. Right? But if you calling with picks, like, hey, I got pick. Can I have that pick? That's gonna happen way more than trading down.
That's a very great way to explain it.
What pick Carolina got in the 2nd?
Shit.
We trying to go out the 1st. Oh.
And the Cowboys definitely ain't doing it. Because look, think about the Micah Parsons thing, right? We didn't trade down because we just had a couple dudes that we liked there. The Eagles wanted to jump in front of the Giants to get a wide receiver. That's the kind of stuff that happens for real. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
you know, I don't see us trading down, and I don't see let's tank the fun. I don't see let's see, big boy. Who you say, the Falcons? I mean the Panthers?
Panthers, yep. And they were the 9th pick in the 2nd round.
They like they ain't got no pick, dude.
Oh,
yeah.
They just
39, my bad.
Team who somebody we might want to dance with because they gonna be looking for a wide receiver to probably go with one of them quarterbacks they gonna pick.
So you want to go down 13 spots, lose your 1st round, your 5th round option.
I don't want to go that far.
That's 13 spots. That's Carolina.
Conversation.
That's Carolina. 39.
I don't want to go that far down.
Okay.
I don't want to go that far down. I was just throwing them out there for conversation.
Yeah. Do you want to stay in the 1st round?
I would really like them to try to figure out a way to slide back.
This draft day. Kevin Costner on the phone.
At 29, I think.
Okay, so who's at 29? Let's see. 29 is.
I think the Saints is 29.
The Saints at 29. So why would the Saints move up 3 spots to get who? They just got in the 1st round. So who they giving up picks to get?
You probably getting like a 5th round pick for that. 4th round. Maybe. I don't know. Professor O, do the math. He got the list.
Yeah, he know. That boy got an app on his phone. He just type it in on his calculator and it just come up with the draft pick. But that's all you got though, D James. Yeah, I don't think the Cowboys trading back. I think they're gonna stay put, and whoever at 26 that they like the most, probably Steve Avila, because they love Steve Avila.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to take themselves out of that range. And if he's there, because Brian Broaddus already leaned in and said, hey, y'all need to keep your eyes on Steve. I think it's a wrap.
I got one more name, and then I'm gonna jump off the line. And I love talking to y'all boys, man. Y'all doing a wonderful job.
Appreciate it.
I think about Keanu Benton, and I'm gonna get a job.
I like him.
I mean, solid player. Some of my Cowboy bias, though. Appreciate you though. Will Steele, some of my Cowboy bias. When I look at D tackles, man, I be wary of the athletic D tackles. Because Neville Gallimore puts a bad feeling on me. Right. When I watch Osa, I say, hey, Osa got athleticism and he's strong as fuck. Right. So I want like there to be a baseline level of like power or whatever. And when I watch Keanu Benton, I don't think he's as strong as I want him to be. The same with Jacqueline Roy from LSU. Like these are dudes that are going to play one tech sometimes. I think Ben is going to be mostly 3-tech guy. But I just do want my D lineman to be a little more powerful now because I know we got pass rushes. You know what I mean? I want us to be like Teflon run stoppers. And then when the end game come around, you're probably going to come off the field anyway for Osa. You know what I'm saying? So Benson is a player that I like.
Yeah, I like
but just in terms of my Cowboy bias, I don't know. I'm probably going to be looking a different type of direction.
That's perfectly way to explain it. I don't think he's necessarily a need here because you got to, I think, look, man, we don't give a, can you do an Osa breakdown? Because I just feel like Osa is not getting enough love here. But you got that 3 tech that does that. A little bit undersized, quick, uses leverage. But we both are into, we want power on our defensive line right now. Mm-hmm. We need some guys that can complement the Osas and the, I guess Neville's still here, the Golstons, right, of the world. Yes. I ain't saying you ignore 3 tech, right? Mm-hmm. I take a 3 tech. Hey, that cat that you was talking about last week,
right?
From school was it, man?
Kobe,
yeah.
Turner.
Turner. I'll take a 3 tech, later somewhere in the draft for sure. But yeah, I'm looking to get bigger up front.
Because look, if you talk about Cowboys fans, organization, front office, we don't talk about getting somebody that's going to be new Osa. We talk about somebody that's going to be new Neville. You know what I mean? So yeah, y'all should definitely start paying a little bit more respect. Will Steele, they find some cocaine in Jalen Carter. Come on, he can go. Osa can go. I will pack his bag for him. You hear me? I will pay the dead money. I will pay the dead. I'm not, but boy. Let somebody in front of us call like, hey man, Jalen Carter on the board, man. Just give us Osa. We'll just give this pick together.
What? Man, oh yeah. Listen, I like Osa, but
it's fun, man. Yeah, boy, that's different. All right, I unlocked the phone.
The conference has been locked
to get some more people in here because I do feel like we owe y'all an extra.
I do like the trade conversation. I always love to hear. Remember, we were captain trade down a couple years ago, things like that. But you already down. Like you had 26. Yes. So ain't too much farther you can go down.
But it's all about how far back are we going? Who are we passing up on? And what teams are between our old pick and our new pick? All that's important information. You know what I'm saying? Because you up here talking about some, hey man, I want a wide receiver, man. But if you look at the teams behind you, man, come on, man.
Yeah, you would need a team between 27 and 31 to fall in love with a guy. And not like I'm not risking it, right? That's basically what you need.
Let me see. The only thing I can say that makes sense, Will, I'm looking at the big board right here. The Saints are at 29. If a team in the second round, let's just say, I don't know, man, something happens with Vegas or something. Okay, look, Tennessee at 41, right? Let me ask you a question, Will, still. If Tennessee at 41 wants to trade you a ransom to go get Hendon Hooker, would you sit at 41 if they started giving you first rounds for next year?
Now we talking. That's a whole different discussion. Yeah. Like that's a different discussion. You talking about next year ones, and then I'm imagining going from 41 to 26.
That's a lot.
You should be able to tax the shit out of them.
Yeah. So if you can get 41 and a third and like a fourth or something this year, and 2 more firsts for 24 and 25. I'll let Tennessee trade up to get Hendon Hooker from us at 26. If you
that's long drop, bro.
That's a long way, but boy, look, we are dealing with a team in our division that keep ending up with first round picks and winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You know.
So if Bro would have brought that up about the Panthers, and you're saying I'm getting I don't even know if the Panthers got future first though, because they traded. Actually, they traded up, so they might not have future. But anyway,
they gave up first and DJ Moore.
Yeah, so never mind.
Ain't got nothing I want.
Never mind. I don't think they got first round. But yeah, if you start including the next year's first round picks, then that trade discussion that Carla was talking about, that's a different story. But it probably going to have to be a quarterback. Nobody's trading up from that high to get a receiver. You know what I'm saying? In this draft, that's probably not happening.
Yeah. Alex just called me delusional. We having a hypothetical conversation. Scrub? What's wrong with you? I know yo Eagles fan blood is, that just made you a little nervous, the idea of the best drafting team in the league having all them picks there. But this content hypotheticals, dog. Holla at you. Sir? What's wrong with him, Will Steele?
What's up with DP? DP said are we avoiding saying Izzy's name, the running back? I'm not talking about Izzy. I call him Wakanda. Again, how many backs are in this draft? There's so many backs, bro. There's so many to like. He's one of the dudes we like. You know, we're not avoiding talking about Izzy, man. He's one of the many backs after Bijan Robinson that you could talk about.
The dude with the most fun name in the draft has on-par production and measurables to the top-rated guy at his position. Lies. Nobody is talking about Izzy Anaconda. Lie.
True. He just went viral last week.
Are y'all avoiding just saying this? All right, bro.
It's false.
All right, here we go.
Not this time. We created it. Not this time.
Let's go.
Not this time. It's totally pure fiction.
Daryl from Fort Worth, not Dallas. That's his name in the situation. I ain't just make that up.
Yo, man, that's me. How y'all doing?
What's up? Come on down. What's up, Daryl? What's good with your play? What you got for the show?
It's all good. It's all good. Appreciate y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I know what you're gonna say, but I need to know Bijan or left side offensive lineman at 26.
Somebody asked me this too, and let me just give my audience props because y'all know how to like bother the hell out of me, right? Will, somebody said DeJuan Jones or Bijan Robinson, and I got upset because DeJuan Jones may not be tackle one for everybody. He is for me though. He's tackle one for me, and we talk all this money five shit. Will still. We talk all this value stuff. And me in particular, I talk about, not listening to the draft Illuminati, just sticking to your guns. If I really feel like DeJuan Jones is the best tackle in this draft, and we talking about Bijan, who's the best running back in this draft, and we always talk about money five taking over for running back, right? Why wouldn't I take DeJuan Jones over Bijan Robinson at 26? Why wouldn't I? If that's how I really felt, why wouldn't I? But there's a phony bone in my body somewhere that's going, man, that's Bijan. That's Bijan. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, so it's really a tough sit. I'm literally perplexed. I'm perplexed. But I can't.
They won't catch that. You had to be here.
Yeah, you had to be here. You can't miss shows and catch that. You can't miss shows. So Daryl, in real life, I learn something about myself every day. I'd be phony and take Bijan.
It ain't phony for me. I think he's a better player. Even if he's OT1, that's your guy. He's OT1. I think Bijan is top 5 prospect in this draft, man.
Now, Will Steele, if this was Tristan Wirfs versus Bijan, Laramie Tunsil versus Bijan.
Oh, these dudes were top 10 prospects. Yeah.
Rashawn Slater versus Bijan. Yeah. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
DeJuan Jones may be tackle one in this class for me. But based on where the talent is, I have to make that adjustment. Say, hey, Bijan a better dude. I'll take Bijan and just find me, I'll just live with Tyler Smith if that's the case or whatever. So yeah, you got me, Daryl. I'm taking Bijan over every offensive lineman in this class, sir.
I think you can get a guard.
Oh
day
no!
Two.
What's that, Will Steele?
I think you can get a guard day 2.
You can definitely get a guard in day 2 and 3. So yeah, fair enough. What'd you say, Daryl? Huh?
I don't know. Not the old line, man.
Okay.
Look,
that's hilarious.
Because and the people see y'all. I mean, my thing is we got this big hole on the left side, and I need that hole filled because it don't matter if OJ.
Me too,
well, maybe not OJ.
Me too.
But I don't care who you coming at running back if we got that big hole on the left side.
I know.
And we talk about you can find somebody in the second, third round, but that's what we've been doing for the last how many years, and we ain't been happy.
But boy, Bijan ain't been there neither though. Bijan ain't been there neither. You would have took Slater, but shit, Michael was there. So that's cool.
I don't think you had a hole last year. I think McGovern was fine. I don't think he was the best player or whatever, but you still had one of the best offenses with him. I think you have a hole now though. I don't. Yeah. There's not anybody you could be like, we could throw him in there and we trust except for.
But he's playing left
Tyler
tackle,
Smith,
and
right?
they're not
And
moving.
yeah, it doesn't seem like they're going to move him. So this year, I think is more of a hole than it's ever been. You know, yeah, we don't like Connor Williams, but Connor Williams kind of was a steady guy there. You had top rated offenses with Connor Williams there. That's why I look at guard and I'm like, if you don't get one day one, I can get me one in day two and still have a really damn good offense. I don't think you not having a day one guard stops you from having a productive, efficient offense.
Smits, Mafia, Zavala, Scruggs, there are dudes. Yeah, I forgot all about Cody. Man, there are dudes. So yeah, for sure. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just, I think that we are, we haven't had one of the best lines in the league. And yeah, we've been getting by because Dak tight windowing and that sort of stuff. But we ain't digging nobody out of the hole when we play people like, they got the big, the big tackles.
Sure.
And we have a hard time with them. And then we got people up in Dak's face.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if we try to really,
big hole in
I know it ain't sexy.
How many yards did the Cowboys rush for against the Eagles?
Whew.
A lot.
On the road. I got you, Will. Still go ahead.
Yeah. A lot on the road.
Well, my thing is how many times when we trying to get a first down, at 1 yard, y'all know we have trouble sometimes getting that first.
Run behind Zach. Run behind Zach.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Don't run behind McGovern. McGovern gone. McGovern gone. Don't worry about it. McGovern gone. We got better.
Look, brother. I'm with you. But there is a hole in the offensive line at left guard, and I would like to fill that left guard spot on the offensive line. You see, I'm trying to word my words right because they killing him in the chat. But I'm trying to fulfill the offensive line correctly, and left guard is a spot. So I'm with you there, man.
Hole on the left side.
I just think if you don't
I will say this though,
you'll be fine, bro. If you don't
last year, remember the tackle from Georgia last year that went way down? I was so ticked off that we didn't grab him down the road. He would have been good.
Jahmyr Salyer.
He was a starting guard, starting tackle.
Salyer. Jahmyr Salyer. Yeah.
But maybe we can find something like that. Easy.
Oh, you mean good now? I see what you're
saying. Yeah. All right, Daryl from Fort Worth, not Dallas. Appreciate you, man. Good call.
Appreciate y'all. Take it easy.
Yes, sir.
Salute.
Cowboy fans, we have to understand, if you don't get something at one round, boys, it's a couple more in other rounds, man.
Bro, but it feels like, man, if we don't draft every position
in the first round,
we're done. Shit. Like I don't believe that. I believe the Cowboys can find quality dudes in these first 3 rounds.
Of course they can. Let's go D Shift. See what D Shift talking about.
Shift had an excellent question. I hope he asked you today.
Let's see what he got. What's up, D Shift? What you got for me?
Yeah, I was gonna do the same. Sky, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, bro.
I was gonna do the same thing, Sky, but I just kind of was gonna tweak it in the sense of Voch. What I asked Sky was like, what guy pretty much had the best chance at being like top 5 at their position, around like it's kind of if you can pick that, if you can pick the guy, you like Tucker said, you can be making a lot of money. But I'd say which guy has a chance more or less to be the closest to the top at their position, right? Like a top 15, top 20% at their position, right? So that means different things for different positions because as a receiver, where you have like 96 starters, right? If you have three starters per team, right? Versus like a running back where, you have pretty much a feature, but if you want to go like committee or whatever,
you talking about
what it is.
You talking about that's available for the Cowboys?
Yeah, at that aspect or at that point, I think that's the 27, 28, those late 20s is kind of a sweet spot. You can kind of like catch a guy like Hopkins or Tre'Davious White. They got a couple safeties, offensive linemen. Travis Frederick went around that late 20s or early 30s kind of thing. So you can grab a guy just because you have a lot of like defensive ends that get reached for, because guys want to. I mean, teams like with us with Taco, we want to get a guy that had those first round kind of tangibles. If you're gonna get a defensive end, you want to get this guy versus this day 2 kind of cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get to kind of reaching for the quarterback, the defensive end, sometimes receivers.
Got you.
Which guy do you think could like be the best at their position? Could be like the Hopkins or the Travis Frederick, where at some point in time they were top 5 at their respective position.
To answer your question, right? I think you have to look at the position. So you made a good point there. And it's 3 positions that just jump off the board at me: tight end, guard, and center. Tight end is kind of trash, man. You know, and if you look around the league, it's probably like 6 of them that's worth a damn, and everybody else is just quarterback dependent. So if let's just say Dak Prescott is your quarterback and he's continuing to elevate the guys on your team, I can fully foresee there being a world in 3 years where Ferguson and Hendershot may not be here anymore, and Darnell Washington has fully developed and he's Dak Prescott's tight end. I can see a world where he could be a top guy because he's Dak Prescott's tight end, and tight end in the league just isn't a fully fleshed out position. Like you said, it's so many good wide receivers. Like it's so many good wide receivers that, like, Terry McLaurin might not be a top 10 guy, but he's a top tier receiver. You see what I'm saying? Center,
right?
You could probably name a couple of them. You know what I mean? Tyler Biadasz is a damn, Pro Bowler or whatever, right? So if John Michael Schmitz is a guy that you take and you put him at center and you don't want to pay, Pro Bowl center Tyler Biadasz, then yeah, if that guy works out, Jason Kelce retires, the rest of the centers, whoever they meet, the other 2 or 3 of them, they just go on to be older guys. Linderbaum leads the way as as a young center guy. I can see a world where you can draft a center this year and he'll be a top 5 center for you in a few years or whatever. And the same with guard, considering that you draft the right guard, you can have a top 5 guard. And you already know that this whole top 5 all Pro Bowl thing is really dependent on who you play for. You know what I mean? So I don't think them dudes really watch film like that for real. So if you're a first round pick offensive lineman for the Cowboys, I think that comes with something. As long as you win games, you'll get a bit of notoriety. I mean, hell, Tyler Biadasz a Pro Bowl, So I think guard, center, and tight end. So John Michael Smith, Steve Avila, and Darnell Washington. There you go. Or Dalton Kincaid if he's a guy.
Okay, awesome, man. Well, man, you have a good afternoon, man, and appreciate y'all, bro.
Appreciate you. I do think that's a good question, though, Will, still, because we often get bogged down in draft value. You know what I mean? So who's more valuable for you? The wide receiver, the 4th wide receiver that may not be a Pro Bowler ever, or the center that you get in the 2nd or 3rd round that's going to come in and probably develop to be a top dude on your team or something like that, and maybe a top dude in the league or something like that. Like if we was talking about this with Mafi, right? As long as Mafi ends up being a good dude, I don't care where I get him at. If he's a good dude, that's what we're here to draft people for, or to draft these guys if they're just good dudes. So shit, man, like you can talk about, well, Voch, I can't take this player at somebody. I saw the comment earlier, Will. They was like, oh, you can't take a blocking tight end in the first round. But what if he ends up being a top 5 tight end for you? Yes, the fuck you can. You know what I mean?
You gotta have a plan for him, right? Like I don't think you're taking him to be a blocking tight end. I think we're hyping up his blocking because he does it at such a high rate. But if you're taking any of those tight ends, they're likely going to be a feature part of your offense at some point. They have to be. You can't take. I don't think you can. I agree. I don't think you can take a blocking tight end in the first round. But I don't think he's going to be just a blocking tight end. That's all.
I mean, shit, Kittle and Schultz were both blocking tight ends. You know what I mean?
Who?
Kittle and Dalton Schultz were both blocking tight ends, but
they won J3 and 2 of the draft. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if all the other tight ends end up going day 2 and 3, why are we just convinced that the tight ends this year going day 1?
Because teams draft one every year, and 9 times out of 10 on that first contract, they're very meh. They still do it. Like, I don't know what it is, man. The history shows you, why the hell are you taking the tight end in the first round? I don't get it. You can find quality guys later, but they still do it. Yeah. Go look at the last 25 first round or 20 first round tight ends. They all, at least in their rookie contracts, were there's a few of them that hit, but for the most part, it's like, hey, man, I could have just got another one later.
Boy, if he had 58, boy. I cannot be responsible for my actions if he's there for you at 50. He won't be, but well, he might be. I don't know. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 callers. All right, man. We're in the overtime hours now, man. So all right, let's get let's run through these pretty quick. John Q, what up?
What's going on, man? How you been?
What's good, my guy? Everything's cool. Life is good. Can't complain. What's happening?
Hey, man. It's been a long time since I talked to you guys, but last year, man, I love it because we used to talk about y'all's pet cats, right?
Yep.
And this has kind of been I'll be honest, this has kind of been a awesome offseason for the Cowboys. Unexpectedly, I'm like, you signed Gilmore? Like, our Cowboys? Are you sure? Let me double check on that. Time out. We spent a first round pick on him? Okay, makes sense. No. We only got him for a fifth. Like, wait. We're doing some things in the offseason we normally don't do.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually setting ourselves up for the draft to be BPA. And I mean, golly, it's been kind of fun, actually. Like, there's honestly like 10 or 15 dudes that that we could get, and I'll be like, yep, that's cool. That's cool with me. We don't have to draft for a like specific, best player available / need anymore. So, I don't know. I was just kind of really excited about that. Love talking to you guys always about this. It gets me excited. It's like 2-3 weeks away. So,
hey, man,
to hear y'all.
I'm kind of strange on the whole pet cat thing because my pet cat always end up they end up being dudes that we all like. You know what I mean? I don't have a player that I like that nobody else likes. You know what I mean? I just don't operate in that way because I just like who's good. But hey, man, draft season is one of my favorite times. I actually looked myself in the mirror today, right? And I just felt like I was wasting my time watching 200 some odd players knowing we ain't gonna draft but 8 of them. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, why do I need to know all these people?
I can't wait till we get our picks so I can just focus on our picks.
And focus on them. But it's just a certain thrill. It's just a thrill associated with it.
Yeah, man. It's always kind of funny, man, how everyone Cowboys are like, we can't take a running back here. We can't take the tight end here. But because it's a passing league. But you can't take Zay Flowers or Josh Downs. Those dudes are too small.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, like y'all are being picky as hell right now. But if we got one of those dudes, you'd be happy.
Yeah.
I still kind of looking at Brian Branch and kind of the versatility that he brings, man. Especially with kind of that low key need in the slot position. And he's got some flex. We're not married to Jordan Lewis.
We got some
in there, and
sir.
I don't know. I think he brings a lot to the table on the tape too.
Duran, anything but bland is in the slot, sir.
J-Ron Kurtz too sometimes. So I think we I think for the next couple of years, slot's pretty fun. Slot's pretty good for us. I do like Brian Branch though, and I don't think his 40 time is gonna matter as much because I think he should play a little more safety than corner. He should be a big nickel type guy. Not for the Cowboys though. Shit, if we take Brian Branch at 26, I'm hurt because that's where you're gonna have to take him. If he's there, I'm gonna be hurt if we take Brian Branch at 26.
Yeah, I hear you.
But hey,
real quick for you, guy. Hey, let me hear your favorite John Q. the movie quote, my guy.
What's my favorite John Q. movie quote? My favorite John.
Come on, man. No. Voch has got to know your Scott.
Sick help is cold. Sick help is cold, man.
Yeah.
You bring me my son, and I give you your sniper. Hey, man.
How about this? Dashboard.
That boy. John, do something. Do something. Hey, man, Denzel's so cold, bro. Like when he was in the office talking to old boy about his insurance, he was telling him why his insurance don't work. Denzel really made me feel like his insurance wasn't good. You know what I mean? Like
I learned about insurance watching that movie.
I learned about insurance
when I was a kid. Yeah.
Boy, I'm wasting my money. Go ahead.
Tell me y'all didn't stare each other in the mirror and try to do the Denzel one big teardrop down the face and then do the one where just stays in your eye. That boy practices all that stuff. Crazy, man.
Hey, but hold up, time out. Hey, cuz Denzel went. We need some towels. We need some towels. It's crazy, guys. All right, cool.
When he had my man hostage and he was out there and he was like, I am not gonna bury my son. My son is gonna bury me.
gonna bury
Come on,
me.
man.
Oh my
Some
God, I got
fucking
chills, fam. Because I got a son now, right? So when you watch it, and I do the same shit for mine.
Man.
It's different, right?
It's way different.
Man, appreciate you, John Q. Good call, man.
John Q.
Good call, man. I ain't had to do all that, huh, Wilson? I ain't had to do all that. All right, cool. What else? Voch, don't get Jahmyr. I'm in Texas. And I'm at home. So let's see. Jamal, what's happening?
I forgot. See, they don't know this is what you've done before. This is normal.
I've done this for years. They wasn't outside when the war call was accompanied with a. They wasn't outside.
Yeah, we don't want to get a.
Voch Lombardi, please report to the volume office.
Yeah, can't have that. Can't have that. Let's see. Jamal, what's happening?
Man, I was about to say, can y'all let a player know if I can talk or not?
We got you.
Oh, man.
My bad, bro.
Just wanted to say good day to y'all, fellas, man. I was listening to the podcast, to Skywalker Steele podcast earlier, and I threw out the idea that I think Dallas would draft a wide receiver at 26 if Jalen Carter is not there. I really feel like this whole topic of Jalen Carter falling in the draft is a real thing, man. And
He's not gonna
like,
be there, man.
I really wasn't hearing any buzz about it, and I swear, and I'm not trying to pump myself up, but I swear I wasn't hearing really any shit about Jalen Carter falling in the draft until after Skywalker Steele show. I believe it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday.
Still not hearing.
Neither here nor there.
Where are you hearing this?
I feel like that's a real valid conversation to have. Like this kid showed up out of shape, and I don't want to say he did it intentionally, but he did. Because the way I feel is, if you're like, I understand he lost his best friend, teammate, and whatnot. And with that being said, there's a psychological side to look at it. So there's the mental health. You sit around, you got big.
So why you want him?
Big.
So why you want him?
The reason I want him,
Yeah,
is because everybody passed up on him, and I believe in that underdog story, brother. Like I'm.
So what makes you think 25 other teams?
Why don't they believe that story?
You basically like he gonna fall because other teams suck at drafting. That's just say that.
Here's why I stand on what I stand on, man. Henry Ruggs is a real conversation to have. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to drafting in the first round anymore, man. Like I understand I understand where you're coming from.
So we shouldn't take Jalen Carter neither.
Why would we take him?
What's that?
That's what I'm saying. So we shouldn't take Jalen Carter neither.
Hell no, that's not in Jerry's DNA, brother.
Oh, so that was Jerry.
That.
It's Jerry. Okay.
You know that ain't in Jerry DNA. That is a Jerry call all the way. If that boy
That's a
is
Seahawks call. That's a
I watched Seattle take Frank Clark, and he was whooping on women in the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Roger, I get it, my ninja. Fine, move on.
He's trying to talk himself into getting Jalen Carter, brother. You just gonna hurt yourself, fam.
Y'all gonna work here with that. I'll take that out. But anyway, with this trading up or down in the draft, I feel like if they do trade up in the draft, the only logical reason to trade up is to get Bijan. And I feel like if they're going to go after him,
Jalen Carter,
they'll try to wait to see if he falls out of the top 10, which is, I think there's some type of paid decline after you fall out of the top 10 for a rookie deal. So I feel like they'll try to wait to see if he falls out of the top 10, and where they already have a rapport with Houston. If Houston is on the clock at 12 and Bijan is there, I feel like we're Dallas. Like I said, they've already swapped Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz. Like that wasn't drafted.
That's how much would that take?
But I feel like if Dallas gave up their 26, and as much as I hate to say this,
and not enough.
Neville Gallimore.
You hate to say
Neville Gallimore. Neville Gallimore.
And Neville Gallimore, I feel like DeMeco Ryans, he's a defensive-minded coach.
Ryan will laugh at.
Watch the game film on
what are you gonna do with Neville?
Gallimore. He fits what DeMeco Ryans' defense does. So DeMeco Ryans is a hybrid 3-4, and Neville fits that mold. I'm not trying to throw a monkey wrench in the program. This is just my
monkey
thought.
wrench.
So like if they do
Boy, you throwing
If they-
a
if
jackhammer in this shit.
If they do trade up, I feel like 12 is a logical spot for them.
Right.
Hold on, real quick. Let me tell you what we thought you was about to say. Hey, dog, we got to trade 26 and probably next year's first. Man,
Yeah,
Gallimore. They will laugh at us. Absolutely laugh at us, fam.
I don't know, man. I mean, in a player development league, where if you give them draft capital and a player, more likely than not, a trade like that goes down. And that's just from what I've seen over the last 2 years in drafts. It hasn't really been draft picks and future draft picks. It's been draft picks and some type of player compensation because a lot of teams do believe in developing young players more than they did before.
So you mean to tell me? You mean to tell me Neville Gallimore is valuable because teams like to develop young players, but they gonna pass on a kid younger than him?
No. Like, bro, I was giving you a chance because I thought you was going to say some real compensation. Neville Gallimore.
They want to develop a 26-year-old, but they gonna pass on the 21-year-old.
10 games last year, bro. You do know that, right?
After Deshaun Watson. Why wouldn't they? Think about it. But like I said, each team in the top 10 has had a questionable first round pick. Think about this, bro. The Panthers are the only team, and I think that's the truth. I think the Panthers are the only team that haven't had a first round pick outside of Cam Newton just fall out of grace like that. So I really do feel like I really do feel like if Bijan is there at 12, or if Bijan is left out of the top 10, I feel like Dallas trades up to get him to that 12 spot, especially if Houston is on the clock and he's there. I feel like Dallas should make that call and trade a first. I mean, you can even give him next year second or third. You don't have to.
Yo, Jamal, we love you to pieces, dog. We about to go ahead. And get this next call going. Now, Jamal, you mean to tell me, sir, your first and some next year's capital for the running back Bijan Robinson? That's what you want to do?
That's not what I want to do. Hell no. I'm just saying that's kind of a Jerry Jones thing, man. Come on, let's think.
Jerry ain't did that in years, man. Jerry ain't did that in years, man. Jerry ain't trading up to get no running back, man.
I mean, listen, I can hear you on that more than Neville Gallimore. I can't get over Neville Gallimore. But yeah, it will take 26.
And I'm sorry for the Neville Gallimore, bro.
I'm gonna keep saying Neville Gallimore.
I'm sorry, I got to because that was hilarious.
You gonna use this as much?
Oh hell yeah! I never let this go.
Bro, that's gonna go viral, hopefully.
Nah.
So listen,
I appreciate y'all, bro. Like for real, y'all keep me laughing, y'all keep me uplifted. And
man.
Like I said, I can't appreciate you brothers enough. Y'all keep me going,
Thanks,
man.
fam.
Appreciate Jamal. Salute.
Do me a favor, Professor. Give me the numbers on that trade up from 26 to 12. I would like to know them. 26
to 12. But I would rather just keep my picks and get Gibbs or something. You know what I mean? I don't want to trade next year's capital. Nah, man. I don't want to get all that.
When is the last time? They haven't done that, and I don't know how. Even when they traded up to get Mo, they just gave up a second round pick.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe he falls in love with Bijan and the running back, and but from what I'm hearing, they're not in the running back business like that no more. So I think he'd have to fall to him.
Yeah. Now, if he fall, we can talk. If he fall, that's a whole nother topic. But man, y'all know that. You talking about a team that's not giving up a second round pick to get DeAndre Hopkins. You think we finna give up a first and next year's capital?
No, you think we finna give up Neville?
Oh,
we can't be giving up
not Neville now. Oh no, Neville.
Here's what made the Neville funny. He was like, so just say we give him a first round pick, and look, hear me out. I know this is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound off the chain.
It wasn't for the reason he thought.
But Neville Gallimore.
Oh, bro.
That was excellent. That was fun.
That was fun, man. That was a good call, bro. Appreciate you, Jamal. Danny Savage, what's up, sir?
Good afternoon, Voch. Good afternoon, Sky.
What's that?
Got a few comments.
26, 58, and 90 get you Bijan Robinson at 12.
So,
I'm
your
good.
whole draft. The whole first 2 days is gone.
Everybody on these 26 of your 30 visits is gonna be gone for Bijan.
No way
I'll
in
be
hell,
down,
fam. This not
I'll
happening.
be down. My bad, Danny Savage. Go ahead, man.
No, you need to give up your firstborn and your watch collection.
Would have made it.
That's ridiculous. I needed a shot of bleach after that call, but that's a whole other story. Just quick question, a couple of questions. Darnell Washington, a tight end.
Never would have made it.
Never would have made it. It's fantastic.
Does that help the running game more? Or does that help?
I'm sorry. That was something. Say that again, Danny.
Does Darnell Washington help your pass game better or your run game better?
Does it help Dak better?
Dak or the run game?
100%. I think both. I think if he's helping your running game, he's helping Dak.
Yeah, and you have to operate under the idea that if you get Darnell, he'll be tight end too in these tight end packages. So even if Ferguson's getting the majority of the work, then you're mismatching Darnell on some tight end that can't deal with him because he's too big or faster than him. So then the idea that he's blocking some dude that can't deal with him. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm sure Darnell can help you in all ways and every way.
Okay, all right. At 26. Drew Sanders or Nolan Smith?
Nolan Smith for me.
Yeah, no.
Same here. Nolan Smith. Okay. Another thing, 2 more and I'm out. This 30 visit, I hope it's a smoke screen because I don't know if people remember the 2021 draft when like 3 teams
2 years ago
traded ahead of us and took safeties and left us with Kelvin, who can't cover, can't wrap, and he can't shoot.
Man, that's
I'm going to land the plane
Cowboys'
on
fault.
who do you think is a
Kelvin's
better
talented.
run blocker? Unless you have a rebuttal to that.
Nah, not at all. Who's the better run blocker?
Who's the better run blocker? Avila, Mafi, or Voorhees? Who would you rank? I know Voorhees has the injuries and he's not even going to play this year, probably. But who would you rank run blocking out of those 3 guys? Avila, Mafi, and Voorhees. Who would you run as the better? Who would you rank as the better run blocker out of those 3?
I think Voorhees is more powerful, but Avila can make more blocks. So I would say Mafi, Avila, Voorhees.
Okay, that's fair. And I'm just going to land the plane with we're going back and forth between DeJuan Jones and Bijan Robinson.
I wasn't going back and forth. Yeah, go ahead.
No, before I know you're going back and forth with that.
Yeah.
Just me, I would have went DeJuan Jones just because after pick 100, O-line gets really scary, and I think we all can admit that there's running backs in every round this year. And I don't think don't be surprised you see a sneaky move. Dallas take a Darnell Wright, throw him to guard. Dallas loves drafting tackles and throw him to guard.
If he can do it, let's do it.
Love the draft content as always. Love Skies. You know what I'm trying to say? I want to see a pocket watch. I think pocket watches are classy. So maybe if you guys get one, then that'll encourage me to go get one in your watch collection.
I might get one for draft. Let's see.
You guys doing a great job as always.
Appreciate you. I am trying to retire from watches because I feel like after these 6 that's coming from overseas, I should be done. But I do agree pocket watches are kind of class. I do have a retort. I just didn't want to retort while Danny was on the phone because that'll make the conversation a little longer. Calvin Joseph indeed can run and cover. It's just something that's going on the pro level that's not making a connection here. You know what I mean? Now his offseason was shitty. You had a shitty offseason. You know what I'm saying? So, you play how you practice. You know what I'm saying? Do I still think that I think Kelvin got one more shot to get this going? Because when you watch his tape at Kentucky, it's not like he's a bad player that couldn't run or that couldn't find the football. Kelvin Joseph had ball hawk type ability, but when you get to the league, you got to make it all click. So, of course, I'm all for moving forward as if Kelvin Joseph doesn't exist. But we ain't finna just act like Kelvin Joseph been trash and always was that way. So we ain't finna do that. But yeah, that's my retort that I didn't want to give on the phone. Did you have anything before I move on, Will? Still?
Yeah, Kelvin don't exist to me. Kevin Joseph. Don't exist.
Me neither. I'm just saying.
I feel you. That's your man. You got. Yeah. Ron Bland shut all that shit down.
Yeah. Deron Bland showed up day one, just ready to go. I do think even if Kelvin Joseph gives you a nuclear offseason, he's still cornerback 4. But we'll talk about that another day. Deron Bland.
I just hope his failures and struggles, his motivation. Yeah, motivation.
Yep. 3 more callers. Mark, what's happening?
What's going on, Voch? How you doing, big?
Life is good, man. I can't complain. What you got for me?
Hey, man, real quick, who would you guys think would win the argument? Let's take our BPA off the table in the draft room for a minute. That kind of goes without saying. Who do you think would have more influence, talking about a value player or talking about an impact player? Who would have more say? Would Mike McCarthy or Dan Quinn win an argument about who would they get to pick? Who do you guys think would win that argument? Well, we got more of a track record of success with Dan Quinn than we do with Mike McCarthy. Not taking anything away from McCarthy. It's kind of strange to say that because they had a top 5 offense, even though it was, broke and busted in the other spot. But who you guys think win the argument? Now I'll get off the phone and let you guys talk. Thank you for taking my call, man. Y'all stay up.
Appreciate you, Mark. Good call. I think this is what I believe, though, and I could be looking too much into this. Dan Quinn is very military minded, so he understands pecking order. And he's back here with the idea of, hey, Mike McCarthy's a head coach here. So I don't think Dan Quinn is the type of dude that'll step on Mike's foot if Mike wants a guy and Dan wants a guy. And Mike says, hey, this is the guy. I just think Dan understands leadership in that way. I don't really know who is a Mike McCarthy pick, though, Will Steele.
Yeah. Well, I was initially straight up just thinking about CeeDee Lamb.
That's yeah, sure.
And maybe we put more resources to Dan. And I don't know. That's why I want to keep him on the phone. I don't know what he meant by we've had a better track record. I mean, Dan Quinn had like 11 dudes drafted for him in 2021. Right. So, and if you go look at guys like Kelvin Joseph, Golston, Nashon, like these guys haven't really been all that great, right? The Cowboys haven't really invested a ton of offense except for the 2 they have in the first round were fantastic hits. Tyler Smith and CeeDee Lamb. Now you get Trayvon Diggs was drafted before Dan Quinn, so I don't know if we give him fair. Diggs, but I just think it would be what's best for the team.
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be a fight.
Yeah. Wouldn't be a fight. And honestly, I think they would just ask Will McClay, hey, which one of these dudes better? You know what I mean? And then they'll take another circle around. They're probably just gonna follow the board. So but I do think Mike McCarthy gets the last say. AJ, the camera technology guy, what up?
What up, Butch?
Coolin', my guy.
Hey, so got a little bit of a conundrum that I got to go through because whenever you guys go live every single day, it tends to be my gym time.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I get on the bench press, I have to hit pause. Hit pause. You guys make me laugh too much. You're going to kill me.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
I agree. Man, look, I be listening to podcasts sometime, man. If I be hitting some heavyweight, I gotta stop because I can't be laughing while I'm lifting. So that's fair. I agree.
So, just in the bone to pick with just the fans and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we gotta stop this trade down talk because I don't know, Voch and Sky, you maybe correct me if I'm wrong on this, but when you pick up the phone to make a trade in the NFL or just even period, just like making a trade, you are not negotiating from a place of strength.
Right.
Yep. So if you're picking up the phone saying, hey, I want to trade down, it's like that team's not going to give you what you're looking for.
Right.
If you pick up the phone wanting to make a trade with somebody, it's like, hey, I want to get out of this. And it's like, what can you give me for this? If you make an offer, they're going to lowball you, whatever your offer is.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what you're going to do.
Yep.
So, like Voch is saying, like teams don't trade down.
Right.
Teams trade up.
Right.
So you would never want to trade down anyway because you're going to lose that trade.
Can I give you an example where I think that might have actually happened? Was the Travis Frederick year. I'm just guessing. I'm speculating. But Dallas traded down pretty significantly. I want to say 18 to 31, y'all. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But I felt like they traded down a good bit and only picked up a third. And I wonder if it was because Dallas didn't know what they wanted to do at the pick. They picked up the phone and said, hey, do you guys want to come up? I believe it was San Fran at the time.
Yeah.
And they only got a third out of it. I feel like you can get more than a third out of how far they traded down. So I think you could be on to something.
Yeah. It ain't gonna be a fair trade.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it definitely won't. But for this draft, I'm actually looking because our team did so well in the offseason, right? So far with free agency and trades and everything like that, our team did so well in the offensive season. I'm looking to draft somebody who's ready to push somebody off a bridge.
Sure.
Maybe not this year, but next year sometime. But I'm looking for some dude that's going to be coming in like if we get Jackson Smith and Jigba,
Turpin.
somebody in that wide receiver room getting pushed off the bridge, and most likely going to be Gallup. But
yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you, Adrian.
I'm just saying somebody's going to get pushed off the bridge.
Yeah.
And
man,
just one more thing, and I'll get off the phone. People need to stop playing Madden with my team and my draft board. Be realistic. I'm out.
Appreciate you, AJ. Good call, brother.
I went to go search it, bro. This is literally what Jerry Jones said. We didn't see a player we wanted to spend the pick on at 18. The incentive was to end up with a third round pick and a first round player. We think we got that. So they 100% picked the phone up.
Yeah.
And what happens? You pick the phone up, you trade down that many spots, and you only get the third.
It took less. Yeah.
I thought that good savvy teams would be able to get more than that.
It don't even benefit you to trade down there. It just benefits for other teams to trade up. So yeah, it's I don't like nothing here. I don't like nothing here.
Yeah.
Give me a third.
So what you all right, you don't like nothing. What you want me to do? Hey, I was wondering if I can get your next year's first with that second round pick. Sir, no.
If
you can get pick 99 and live with it.
If you ain't doing nothing else while I'm on the phone, Will Steele.
Yeah.
Could you please tell me who was picked where the Cowboys were picking? Like the Cowboys traded away from somebody. That team that traded up, who was that pick?
2018? Or I'm sorry, 2000 or number 18, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I appreciate you. And I'm about to go ahead and cut this last call on. Steve, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on?
What's good, my guy?
Eric Reed. Oh, you know.
Oh, been listening. I haven't talked to you guys in a little bit, so I wanted to catch up and, of course, love the show. Wanted to tell you first of all if D'Amico Ryan was already saying that he didn't like the trade that the Cowboys got already. So if they pull off the trade that the caller that was talking about earlier, he's going to walk into the GM's office and throat punch him.
Yeah,
for sure.
Unless Neville Gallimore's part of that trade, then we can actually keep our second. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, that goes without saying. So, because of recent history, as Cowboys fans, we've been conditioned to get kind of panicky this type of year because the front office doesn't do anything in free agency to speak of. They make no good trades, and the draft we feel is our only hope. So we feel like we can't afford to have any misses. We can't afford to have, Jalen Smith miss as a second round pick, Taco miss as a first round pick. LV when you got Shaq Leonard on the board, Tristan Hill, Kelvin Joseph, Jalen Tolbert. But this year they've actually done things to make it so that we feel a little bit better. We've covered some ground here, so we are in a position here that we can take best player available. We can actually, like you were saying earlier, we have a plan, and then we have a backup plan. If we can't get Smith and Jigba, then we've got someone in the second round. We've got someone in the third round. We got someone in the fourth round.
Right.
And this is so much more relaxed this year. I don't feel the stress that I usually feel going into draft time because this is our only shot, And Will, you were right earlier. Tight end is my only position or for first round draft this year because you got tight end has the highest failure rate in first round picks. I think Vernon Davis in 2006 was the only first round that ever got 1,000 yards in the last 20 years or something
Pitts did, but
Kyle Pitts might
yeah, Pitts.
But it's not a great return on your investment for first round pick for sure. So that would make me a little bit worried. But last thing, and then I'll get off with you guys. Have you checked out defensive tackle from Arizona State? Nickname is Nasty, so you got to like him. Nesta Silvera.
I have not, man. I have not. He must be way at the bottom of the list because I printed out a list of like 250 people just so I can try to get to the bottom of that list. But I have not seen the film on the Arizona State kid. No, sir.
All right. Nickname's Nasty. All right. You guys have a great one. Love the show.
Cool. Appreciate yo. Look, look, Steve. Hey, look, I don't know if he good. I don't know nothing. It's just the nickname Nasty. I like it.
I ain't calling another man nasty.
Nasty. Nasty. Man, tell him I ain't got it, dog.
Never mind. I ain't gonna say that.
Yeah, we gotta do all that. We gotta do all that. Soup. Oh man, we gave y'all a long show. Man, 5 o'clock, man. But it's all good though. We appreciate y'all. We don't get used to this. Next week, over the next few weeks, 10 days really, I got to put together my big board, and I'm going to be ranking a handful of positions. Y'all know every year I don't really rank all of them. I just rank the ones I feel like ranking. Like y'all know I'm not going to be ranking safeties up here. Like y'all know that. What I got? I just text Brumley. Shit, I ain't text Brumley, so it's on my calendar. Hold up, I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm ranking. Hold on. Super. Here we go. Okay, never mind. Okay, here we go. Running back, O-line, D-line, edge, wide receiver, top 50 in mock. That's what I'm gonna be working on. Running back, O-line, D-line, edge, wide receiver. That's what I'm gonna be working on. So for those of you that are curious about how my rankings are gonna go this year, those are my rankings. Let's get into them. Volume. Let's see what my volume side has. Today is the 10th. Captain Sparta says he dropped 2 dimes. That's 20 altogether. That's a dub. Appreciate you, sir. T-Bob. Still confused on who Izza's 3 biggest rivals. Florida, Bama, Auburn, Arkansas, and Texas A&M. Oh, my bad, y'all. My bad. That's a dude on the other show. My bad. I ain't know who the hell. Bro, I ain't know
you were struggling with that.
I ain't know what was going on. Okay, that's another show. That ain't us. My bad. That don't count. I feel like Captain Spartan Captain Spartan, don't go watch their show after watching our show, bro. I'm playing. Appreciate it. We need this job. Landlord from Calabasas. Appreciate you. He says, imagine Danny Savage in a war room with the Cowboys and Bijan on the board. He'd be like, I got a day 3 guy we could draft.
So on our show, on my show in the morning, we call him day 3 Danny. Because he always calls in and he got a day 3 name for you. And he always shits on anybody that's in the top 50 prospects. He ain't fooling with none of them dudes. All about day 3 Danny.
Dan don't like nobody, bro. Danny don't like nobody.
Bro. He like you if you from ITT Tech.
Yeah, if you. I know a guy. Oh man, appreciate you, landlord. Night 405 dropped a deuce and says someone would trade to 26 overall for Hooker. If Hooker hadn't gone yet, I could see it. It just depends from where, but I can see it. Appreciate you, Night. George Russian dropped a deuce and says, what if Nolan Smith or Joey Porter slide down? If they're hiring your boys, you take Nolan Smith and Joey Porter and just move on with your life. You don't even think twice about it. Kidding me? Then he came back and dropped another deuce and says, what if you can get McDonald and then Marvin Mims in the second? Assuming, I'm just guessing. I think you can get a better player than Marvin Mims.
I was just about to ask you, do you have Mims as a 58 guy? He was brought in too, by the way.
For one, in my personal opinion, I don't think Marvin Mims is a 58 guy. And based on how the wide receivers falling, you can probably get Jalen Hyatt, Josh Downs, Jordan Addison at 58. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you can get Jordan Addison at 58, you
crazy if all those dudes fall 58.
You cooking with some grease now. But
I think if let's just say only JSN gets drafted in the first round, I feel like there's going to be a stupid run on wide receivers to start off day 2.
They're gonna fly off the board. Yeah. They're gonna fly off the board. I hit refresh. L dropped the 5 and says gas money for the extended show. Salute. Appreciate you, brother L. He dropped 5. Hashtag studio 2023. It's happening. And Glenn Parker dropped 5 and he just said wrench. I guess it's him asking for a wrench, but that ain't how we pass our wrenches. Damn, and if I told you how we pass our wrenches, everybody would do that to pass our wrenches, you know. We do not want chameleons to have power here, you know what I mean? So but Glenn, I'll be watching you and we'll see if you get wrenched up. Appreciate you. Let's go to the Voch side. Boom. I know ain't nobody else super chatting on this channel but me. I know ain't nobody else super chatting over here. Here we go. Today, 10th also.
And the draft is 17 days, bro.
I'm so behind, Will. Still, I am so behind. I think I'll be all right though, man.
Yeah, I'm not doing a 15-hour live stream this year.
That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem.
I'm gonna come on about 10 picks before the Cowboys.
Well, we're still gonna get a good Thursday in, and let's holler at y'all. The rest of y'all can go. Jimmy O dropped a dime and said, "Boy." I don't know why I just read it like that. He says, "Boy, if Nolan Smith fought us at 26, call the military because it's gonna take more than the Popo and the SWAT team to contain me out here in these streets. After I post bail for Voch, I'm going to Golden Corral. Boy, that's what we still gonna have the cuffs on and the jumpsuit when we go to Golden Corral. You hear me, Jimmy? Man, Nolan Smith at 26 would just be a day of jubilation for me. Appreciate you though, my guy. Whew. Marcus Harrison, you in the chat, brother? If not, we'll just clock out, man. I mean, it's 5:05. It's 5:05. We're gonna give Marcus Harrison about a minute or two to get up in here. Chat, what y'all doing? He just called the Voch side ghetto. Hilarious. Who did that? It is a little disorganized over there, huh? It is a little disorganized though. That's cool.
Yeah, the volume side up there, what they call it, Palo Alto or whatever.
Yeah.
The techies is and whatnot.
Calabasas. What's his name? Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. Yeah, there we go.
Silicon Valley. Marcus Hardison says, at the volume, that's me, Will Steele, and Neville Gallimore today, by the way. At the volume, if one stands behind you, protect them. If one stands beside you, respect them. Come on, Will. Come on, man. There we go. There you go. If one stands behind you, protect them.
Hit him with the.
If one stands beside you, respect them. I love that. Oh, but there's one more.
Who?
But if one stands in front of you, show them no mercy. Show them no mercy. Hey, man. Lion sleep outside, bro. UNLV. Hold this L, bro.
I love that one.
Appreciate you, Marcus. That's fire, bro.
That is.
That's fire. And I had to switch to the NWO. That's fire, bro. Hey, appreciate you, man. Who said no? What I missed?
L, we were earlier, right?
Never too much. Come on, dog.
Too much is better.
Oh, damn, that's so much better. Never would have made it. Damn, that's hilarious, bro. Hey,
you know what? I'm rooting for Neville now, just so that we can use these sayings. Come on, Neville. I need you to pull a who's the kicker that we was rooting for? Hallelujah. Not hallelujah.
Maher.
Yeah.
And also hilarious Clinton Dix, man. We missed a lot of opportunity with that.
Hilarious Clinton Dix would have been great. Yeah.
LOL Clinton Dix, all that. Whatever. L just dropped the Manscaped Joker today. He damn sure did. Chat, be sure to hit all the like and subscribe buttons. Be sure to follow Voch Lombardi and the Volume Sports Network on all social media platforms. VOCHLOMBARDI for me. Follow my Patreon where we watch the film in whole. We was on Patreon this morning. We watched Javon Dexter, who's a bit overrated. We watched your guy Chase Brown, and then we went and we watched Juice Scruggs, who I like. Juice.
You just gonna tell me about Chase Brown now? I want to know your thoughts on him. We'll save it for tomorrow.
I'm not that big of a fan, but we will talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to know why. Yeah.
I think he'll be a good rotational day 3 guy, and honestly, that's really what we're looking for.
I'm about to say that's where actually I'm fine grabbing him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Chase is gonna be a top guy, but I'd love to put him in part of the rotation.
As a value for like a day 3 guy, for sure, I can see that. But boy, I just feel like he's 215 pounds, right? And I feel like every time somebody touched him, he fell down. I was like, hey man, run through somebody.
Sure.
Just one time, run through somebody, and that's what we was in. That's what we're talking about on the Patreon or whatever. But cool player. And if he's a day 3 guy, let's do it. And Twitch.tv, my non-football platform, Twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi. Appreciate you. And y'all follow Will Steele on his social medias, his Twitter, by the way, it's Skywalker Steele, STEELE. And where else? A to Z Dallas in the morning on YouTube, 8:30 to 10:30. He does fantastic work over there. We dying to get this content. We trying to figure out what to do these last couple of weeks, but once the draft happens, man, it's gonna be a fun little content party until we go on that month long vacation that I ain't tell Will, you know what I'm saying? I ain't tell nobody. All right, we'll catch y'all tomorrow, man. Love y'all to pieces. Hopefully our technical difficulties are done for the day. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski and the P-Ski Whiskey Volume.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Tell you what, Will Steele. When I'm feeling good, I live stream till 6. When I've been fasting, and I'm hungry as hell, I want to cut this thing off at 4:15.
I'm sorry, I can't get over never too much and never would have made it.
Message.
Never will pop.